Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar brought to you by Guardian Inspection Payments. My name is Ryan Ward. I coordinate all things marketing for Guardian, and it is my pleasure to be here as your host today. Today's presentation is all about FlexFund best practices and getting the most out of FlexFund. Because what we see all too often is that inspectors get started with FlexFund, but they do so haphazardly or without really baking it into their core inspection offering. And that's where you're not really setting yourself up for success and won't really see the greatest benefits that FlexFund has to offer home inspectors. So today we'll be going over the metrics and revenue you should be seeing with FlexFund and how to position it with home buyers and agents. And we'll also talk about the ways that Guardian can help ensure your success with FlexFund. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping notes. Today's webinar will be recorded and we'll be distributing it through email to all registrants. While we will be leaving time for Q&A at the end of our session together, we also encourage you to drop your questions in the chat as they come to mind, and we'll try to get them answered right then and there. And of course, if we're not able to get to your question before time is up, rest assured that someone will follow up with you directly afterward. All right, you've had a chance to glance at our brief agenda there on the right, so let's get started by introducing today's speakers. Just in case you're not familiar with these two, I'd like to introduce the founders of Guardian Inspection Payments, two of the nicest people you meet, Ben Tolman and Aaron Furman. And with that, I've set the stage. Ben and Aaron, I will hand it over to you.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. So really what we want to accomplish today, this webinar is specifically for folks who are already using FlexFund. So this isn't a sales pitch or anything like that. We want to just give you a forum to ask questions, get them answered, and also just share some best practices. So let's just start with some updated stats that we've seen. We actually just reran these recently. Since we started FlexFund, which it's been over 2 years now, we've ran well over 20,000 home inspections through the FlexFund tool, and so we have some pretty good data to share, and it's exciting to see. So on average, right now, when you look at your home inspection fees that you charge across the board, both credit card, cash, check, and FlexFund, when a customer pays with FlexFund, we see an average increase in revenue of 30%. And we've got one guy who's crushing it. He's getting 127% more. It's over $600 more per inspection when they pay with FlexFund versus non-FlexFund transactions. But on average, that's 154 bucks extra in your pocket, which is $6,200 during the period of time that we ran these numbers. So it's significant. Guys are making more money when they get their customers to pay at close versus paying up front with cash, check, or credit card. So we want to share some things that are working as well as some things that aren't working and some mistakes that we see folks making frequently with FlexFund. So to start with, not letting your customers and your agents know that you offer it. It's super important that especially your agents know that you have that as an option for payment, because what we found is, long before we came around, you guys were offering pay at close when your agents were asking you for it, right? You get an agent that says, "Hey, I got a customer who wants to do this," and they would come to you, and you'd say yes or no. And what they found is, over time, they found which inspectors have no problem doing it, and which ones really have a problem with it, and which ones absolutely will not do it, no matter what. And so, even if they like you as a home inspector, if they know that you don't offer pay at close, and the other guy in town does, then when they get a customer that specifically is asking for it, clearly they're not going to go to you. They're going to go to the other guy because they know that guy doesn't have a problem with it. So if it's been years and years of you telling you telling your agents that you don't offer FlexFund, and now you do, but they don't know about that, they're still going to go to the other guy who does offer pay at close instead of you. So if nothing else, it's really important that you just send an email out to your agents, letting them know that it is now an option. So if they have a customer who is interested in paying at close, please reach out to you, and you can figure out, you can get that figured out. So, social media posts, some kind of marketing and agent outreach. We see inspectors that they're nervous about telling their agents about it. They're nervous about posting it on social media, which means their customers and their agents don't know about it, which means they're going to the other guy who has done marketing and agent outreach. But I see the biggest problem over and over again is that your customer doesn't find out that you offer pay at close FlexFund until after they've decided what they're going to buy, when they're going to pay for it. So if the first time your customer sees that they have the option to pay at close is when they're going to pay for it, it didn't do you any good, right? At that point, all it does is cost you $50 for a FlexFund transaction. So you've got to make sure that your customers are aware of this as a payment option well before they go to pay for it. Ideally, right up front when you're booking the inspection and going over the pricing. So those are kind of the common pitfalls that we see. Super important that, um, right, like it says right here, the number one thing that you can do to be successful with FlexFund and get closer, like the inspector I showed you up front that's making 127% more on FlexFund, it's because they're offering it as a core part of their business, right? It's in everything that they do. They're letting their customers know and their agents know that this is something that they offer. They've got flyers that they're handing out to agents and customers. It's on their websites. It's on, everywhere that their customers look. This is something that they're pitching, and now their agents and their customers are just used to it. They know that they don't have to pay right now. They can pay at close. And so strong marketing and agents network, knowing that you offer it is super important, and then making sure that your customers know while you're booking the inspection that they don't have to pay for it now. So the easiest way to do that is it adds about 10 seconds to whatever you're currently doing. So right up front, when you get a price shopper or you're going over the pricing, it's really important that you right up front say, hey, you don't have to pay for anything now. You can pay for this at closing. It's really that simple. Just that quick line. You don't have to pay for this now. You can pay for it at closing. It helps price shoppers know that they should keep talking to you, that price isn't the only concern now. And it helps your customers know as you start to go through your normal offering, in the back of their head, they're thinking, oh, I don't have to pay for this now. So they're focusing more on what you're offering versus what it costs. A lot of your customers, before they come to you, in their head, they probably think that this is going to cost them a couple $100, right? And so when you sit there and you say, well, the home inspection is $450, the sewer scope's $250, your radon's $200, your air quality test is $500, your mold test is $180, right? You start going through all these things, and it's freaking them out. And so if they know before you go through those things, because you've told them, you don't have to pay for any of this today. You can pay for it all at closing. Now go through all of your pricing and go through your normal pitch. And then one last time at the end, simply say, and just remember, you don't have to pay for this today. You can pay for it all at closing through escrow. That's it. That's all you have to do to take the pressure off of your customer. And doing that allows you to upsell your ancillary services. We have a lot of tools available to you. So we've got a full marketing kit where we can take your logo, your contact information, website, email address, phone number, and we'll create a really nice custom flyer that has your logo on it. We've got social media posts that are white labeled that will have your information on it. A whole presentation deck that you can include to your existing deck. So it'll have your logo and everything on it. So when you're doing agent office presentations, you can have a pitch deck there included, as well as a folded brochure. So all of those things are available. It's really easy to get your marketing kit. It's free. It comes as part of being a FlexFund customer. And then also something that I think you need to take more advantage of is we have some email templates that you can use. Like I mentioned earlier, how important it is that you let your agents and your lenders know that you offer this. So we've got those emails already set up, and we'll even do it for you. If you don't want to deal with it, just let us know that you want us to tee up an email to all of your agents. We'll go in there, we'll tee it up, and then before it gets sent, we'll make sure you have a chance to look it over and that we have your approval, and we'll do it for you. So we're happy to help with that. So take advantage of this and getting the word out that you offer it. Just a good example of what it would look like a little closer up. So you can see we got the custom logo on the flyer. We've got email templates that have all your contact information on it. So we'll take care of all of that stuff for you. Getting it set up, one thing that I think that you guys everybody on this call clearly already has FlexFund set up. But we are happy. We have customer service agents who are here and ready to help you optimize all of your settings and do your marketing and agent outreaches. So take advantage of that. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll let you know who your customer service agent is that's assigned to your account. And they can do a lot of things for you. First of all, they can go through all of your settings with you, make sure that it's set up correctly. They can do a test transaction with you so that you go through the whole process and see what your customer sees. They can go back in and look at all of the inspection types that are enabled and make sure that the right ones are enabled and the right ones are disabled, so you're not offering it on inspection types that you don't want them to see it. There's even some new settings in there that maybe you don't know about. We now give you the ability to add this just to packages. So you can go in and there's a whole packages section in ISN where you can create custom packages, and you can say as part of your package that FlexFund is a service that you offer, so that when your customers are going and looking at your package deals, it's very apparent that they don't have to pay for it now. It's a great way to upsell your packages, is letting them know they can pay for it later. There's also a new setting in there, which we really like, that allows you to opt specific agents out of FlexFund. So if you've got an agent that's like, hey, I don't want anything to do with this, no problem. Let me go in and opt you out of it. So you can go into their agent profile in ISN and uncheck the box so that they don't see FlexFund. And then none of their customers that agent sends to you will see FlexFund as a payment option. So lots of things that allow you to totally customize this. But I guess the thing that I really want to get across is if you haven't looked at it deeply for a while, book some time with one of our customer service agents and let them go through and show you what's new and some of the new settings, and let them help you get your email event set up and your settings set up correctly. Just take advantage of that. It doesn't cost you anything, and it'll take you 5 or 10 minutes, and they can help you get this optimized so that you're making more money off of it. And I kind of stole my own thunder here. That's essentially what this is about. Is feel free. Here's the contact information. All you have to do is reach out to sales@inspectionpayments.com or call us at our 1-800 number, and our agents will walk you through that whole thing. I guess finally just want to finish that it's really working. We've got a lot of guys that are making a ton of money off of this. It's really making a difference on their business. One thing I would encourage you to do, and Ryan can probably put this in the chat, is we have a website address where you can go to and type in a zip code, and you can find out which inspectors in your area are also offering FlexFund. And I'd encourage you to do that. If you haven't gone out and told your agents that you offer it, and your sellers agents who maybe have never done business with you, I promise you that your competitor probably has. So if you've got competition in your area that are currently offering FlexFund, they're hopefully they're doing what we're telling them to do, which is go out and get more market share. Use this as a way to get more business, which means they're trying to take your business away from you. So don't let them. Go in there and make sure that your agents are aware of this, so that nobody's taking market share. But this is this website address that Ryan just put in there, the locator. We send this to agents, so agents are reaching out to us saying, hey, I've heard about this product. How do I find a guy in my area that offers it? So that, because I've got a customer who wants it. We send them this link, and they type in a zip code, and then it'll tell them which inspectors in their area they can go use. So this is a great way to get new agent offices. Trying to think if I'm missing anything. That's basically it. We really wanted to just leave some time for you guys if you have any questions to reach out. Otherwise, like I said, you can for sure reach out to us at sales@inspectionpayments.com or a 1-800 number, and you can get a customer service agent on there to help you optimize FlexFund for your business. Any questions, or Ben, Ryan, anything that I'm missing here?
Yeah, thank you so much, Aaron. We do have some time remaining, so I think it would be great, and we'll of course monitor the chat over there, but I think it'd be great to go over some common questions we do hear from customers, just to put it out there and get some answers to those.
Sure.
So first, is it possible to only offer FlexFund on certain types of inspections or on transactions that only reach a certain dollar amount?
Yeah, good question. We get this all the time. Currently, there's not a way. We are building it, so it is on our roadmap to make it so that you can set a minimum dollar amount. so that FlexFund won't be offered unless the total inspection fee is over whatever you determine. So that's coming and coming shortly. There are ways around that you can do it currently, right? So when you go into your FlexFund settings, all of your inspection types and services will port into there. So it'd be really easy for you to set up standard residential inspection less than $400, right? And make that a specific inspection type and then disable that in your FlexFund settings. So when you're doing a standard residential inspection under $400, you're going to choose that inspection type. Then that won't be eligible for FlexFund to your customer when they go to check out. And also there's obviously some inspection types that are clearly going to be ones that are under a certain dollar amount, maybe single condo inspection or something like that. And then obviously you'd want to disable it for any standalone service options like a standalone mold inspection or a standalone sewer scope inspection. You can disable it there. But it is easy to set it up. So right now it's not set up for dollar amounts, but setting it up on packages is very easy. If you only wanted to offer it on just package deals, you can totally do that. You have total control over when your customers see this as a payment option and when they don't. Our suggestion is if you work it right and you bring it up front, but while you're booking the inspection, the suggestion is offer it on every inspection. And remember, so right now, the average adoption rate across the board is like 5 to 7%, which means really only 1 out of 20 of your customers are going to choose it. But if you offer it for free on every inspection, right, the other 19 customers, you still get the advantage of using FlexFund to upsell them. So your average inspection fee can increase even on your non-FlexFund inspections if you're using it to upsell on every inspection. So if you've got, say, a 5% adoption rate, which is kind of the average, you have to pay $50 FlexFund fee on 1 out of 20 inspections. And we know that on that one, we see an average of $154 extra. But on your other 19 inspections, for $50 on that one inspection, you get a pitch FlexFund on the other 19 and use it to upsell ancillary services. So it's really, our suggestion is just offer it on every inspection. You get to upsell your ancillary services and use it as a tool to get more money. But then when they get their payment link to go and check out, they still see credit card, ACH, and FlexFund as a payment option. And most of the time they still pay with a credit card. So you get the benefit of using it to upsell without having to pay the fee on the other 19 inspections. So hopefully that answers your question. What else? Any other ones that maybe come through a lot that would be good to
Yeah.
cover?
What about offering FlexFund in something like an online scheduler? Obviously, we've talked about how to pitch it to clients on a one-to-one setting, but what about kind of automating the selection of
Yeah.
FlexFund?
So you have the choice of having it offered in your online scheduler or not. We would suggest that you do. As long, yeah, we think it's very beneficial. It's set up right now that on the online scheduler, when they go to check out, if they choose FlexFund as their payment, or if they don't choose FlexFund as their payment option, it will say, "Hey, did you know you qualified to pay for this at closing?" Which allows you to add more services or whatever, and not have to pay for them. So it's a kind of a little bit of an automated way to upsell on your online scheduler, but you have control over that. You can have it enabled or disabled on your online scheduler.
Great. And then I think one more, and we should have covered most common questions for FlexFund. What happens if the order changes after they select FlexFund? So they add a service, they remove a service, something like that.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's something that you guys may not know about if you've been doing this for a long time, because it's a fairly recent development that allows you to change the invoice at any time before or after the inspection, and we will automatically take care of that. So if before the inspection takes place, the customer signs the FlexFund agreement and they say they're going to pay with FlexFund, and then a couple days later before the inspection, they say, "Hey, you know what? I want to do the sewer scope." Or maybe they're on site and you're able to say, "Hey, I saw you're paying at close. You might as well throw a few other services in there since you're not paying for it today." Great way to get them to upsold while you're on site. So let's say you're able to do that. All you have to do is go into ISN and change the order. That's it. We'll take care of everything else. It'll automatically update the invoice that goes to the title company. So anytime before 7 o'clock p.m., it'll automatically change it. But then even after that, let's say it's a week later and they come back and say, "Hey, I want to add sewer scope." All you have to do is go add sewer scope to the order. We will fund you just the amount for the sewer scope. no extra fee because you already paid the fee on the original inspection, right? So we'll just fund you your sewer scope money, and then we get notified the invoice was adjusted, and so we'll adjust our invoice to the title company. We'll resend it to the title company, verify that they got it, and make sure that that additional amount gets put on the closing. So all completely automated. Yep, super easy. And one other thing, I guess, while we're here, and because this is something that we see a lot of, that inspectors might be a little confused of that are using FlexFund, you have the ability to remove FlexFund from the order. So if they decide up front that they want to pay with FlexFund, and then let's say you're doing the inspection and they're like, hey, I'm not going to buy this house. You found too much garbage. There's no way I'm buying it. Can I just pay you now? You don't have to contact us. You can just go into your ISN, uncheck FlexFund in the order, and then it'll remove that from the order, and then you can take a credit card or cash or check. So you have control up until 7 o'clock p.m. the day of the inspection. You can actually go and remove FlexFund from the order on your own by just checking that box in the order, or unchecking that box, sorry. So
yeah, that's a great point to highlight, and points out that FlexFund really is quite dynamic and solves for a lot of scenarios and special instances.
yeah.
Um,
There's a question here from Amy, and that's a good question. So it is still prohibited. That's not us saying that it's prohibitive. That's the federal government. So if you're telling your customer that they can pay later, but you're going to charge them a fee to pay later, you have to be licensed as a lender. Charging a fee to pay at a later date is a loan, and you're not licensed as a lender, so you can't do it. So that's not our rule. That's their rule. Now, clearly, there's some gray area there, right? As long as the customer can't easily discern that they're paying more to have the ability to pay later, then you're fine. So like in your package deals, it's real easy to slip in an extra $50 in your package deal, right? Because you're offering a bunch and it's a bigger dollar amount. You can increase your price of your home inspections across the board. If you only have 5% of your customers choosing it, you only have to raise your fee by $2.50 per inspection to cover your FlexFund fee, like $2.50. So a $5 price increase more than makes up for it, but $2.50 price increase and you cover the cost of your FlexFund, your $50 FlexFund fee. So that's the easiest way to do it. If you want your customers to pay for it, you just increase your inspection fees across the board and build it in to the cost of your home inspection, similar to how you build in a lot of other stuff into the cost of your home inspection. But good question, Amy. Thank you.
Fantastic. I think that about does it for questions. So with that, we will wrap. Thank you, everyone that was joining us today, for being here. Thank you, Aaron, Ben. Sorry about your microphone. We'll get that worked out for you. But thank you for being here. And yes, thank you, everyone, for being a Guardian customer. And we will see you out in the field.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Feel free to reach out if we can help in any way. Have a good one.